The Lightbringers traveled to Reclamation's Pride in search of a tiefling named Premonition, the fabled speaker in dreams. With her help, they hope to see their friends once more, but in order to do so, they must first face a familiar foe. Hey, welcome to Worlds Apart. This is our D&D 5th edition adventure show that I play with my friends. Gwyn playing the Celestial Warlock Astrid, Hannah playing Mara the Barbarian Chieftain, and Cedric playing Zephyr, the Paladin of the Nature Goddess Kieva. Let's just dive right into it. Previously on Worlds Apart, Astrid, Mara, and Zephyr saved a traveling herbalist named Basil Theodore from a group of giants who were traveling with a giant panther. Astrid befriended and adopted the massive cat and named him Ink, and now she is riding on top of the panther, and she did so all the way to Reclamation's Pride, an independent city-state founded by the Sorcerer Knight Reclamation as a haven for tieflings. While there, their goal was to seek out a tiefling named Premonition, the speaker in dreams, after one of Tika's parents suggested that they find her because her dreams might be able to reveal the fates of their lost friends. Lightbringers, you have awoken in the local inn after a nice long sleep, the first sleep in many days that you've had on an actual bed. What do you do in the morning?
I'd like to get a big breakfast.
Good. Yeah,
Good idea.
You awaken to the sounds of birdsong and bustling city streets outside. Everything seems to sound just a little bit different than it did in Omavel. This is an independent city-state. It's beyond the reach of the Republic. And even though that shouldn't make a difference where you are, things just seem a little bit different. The sounds are different. The people have a different dialect. The people behave slightly differently from the cities that you're used to and from your own tribes, Mara. And so you come downstairs, you get a big breakfast. It is, for lack of a better word, it's filling, it's hearty. It's all with ingredients that you're not really familiar with. Like, you recognize that there's eggs and meat and bread here, but you don't know what kind of eggs. Like, maybe it's a giant snake egg. You don't really know what kind of animal the yeah, it's all snakes, really. The bread's made of snakes.
You just slurp them up like noodles.
Snoodles.
The cave carvers traveled here. There are so many snakes.
And after having your breakfast, it really is just a marvel, Astrid, for you to see so many different tieflings walking around here of all sorts of shapes and sizes and every color of the rainbow. There are tieflings around here. You see some with horns that do little spirally shapes. You see some with like 3 or 4 horns growing out of different parts of their head. And some are green or yellow or purple or blue. And this only gets more vibrant and more intense as you head out into the main streets of the city, where all people are walking around. And Zephyr and Mara, you see a fair share of humans and elves and other sorts of folks here, but even they have arrayed themselves in beautiful, vibrant colors, clothing that really stands out from the sandy browns and yellows that you see in Omavel and in the desert. These people, every street seems to be filled with colors like people are on parade. Here in the main market square, you arrived here first last time when you came here. You said farewell to Basil at the time. He was going to set up a stall here, and you can see him now this morning. He has converted his little wheelbarrow cart into a full-blown stall. It seems as though he had something packed up and folded in there. And he is gathering quite a crowd of people, all looking to see what sort of herbs and potions and salves and poultices he has to sell. But you also see a lot of shops that just deal in the magical arts. Whereas Omavel seemed to be very interested in engineering and mundane items, it seems Reclamation's Pride is a hotspot for the magical artifact trade. There are 3 shops you can see here in the main square that immediately catch your eye. One is a place called the Arcaneum, with a little slogan underneath its sign saying, wondrous items, rods, staves, and wands, the likes of which you have never seen on this earth. There is one called the Blooded Word, which shows a gigantic quill pen writing in red ink upon an unfurling scroll of parchment. And another seems to have a cloud of smoke that seems to change color within its gray spiraling wisps coming out of its chimney, and it is called Blade Song, and it has a sign of a sword which is inscribed with a musical staff covered with notes. There are also a fair share of other people wandering around. You can see a beggar or two hanging out on the street corner. Some are playing music. You can hear the sounds of a violin and a shawm coming over through the air. And looming over all the rest of the city at the top of this Acropolis is a massive palace with stone lion statues guarding its steps. This seems to be Reclamation's palace. What do you want to do?
Well, if Astrid's anything like me, and she is, she wants to go shopping.
Nice.
So I want to check out the Arcaneum first.
Cool. Everyone else following?
Perhaps we can explore the town for a little bit, and then we should try to find Premonition and seek out our friends.
Okay, fine.
Okay. You head over to the Arcaneum, and you step inside, and the entire shop, its walls are draped with gauzy, multicolored drapes, giving this place an almost circus-like feeling. There are little brooms that propel themselves along the floor, sweeping up glitter and dust.
I was going to say it reminds Mara a little bit of the tents of the Skycallers, which have a lot of different fabrics and curtains and pillows and stuff, but they don't have magical brooms sweeping up all the desert dust. So.
There are...
Convenient, though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be?
Freaking sand out of there for once.
There are some items wrapped in brown paper packages that seem to be floating of their own volition through the air, being shelved into specific places on these long rows of shelves all the way down. As you walk in, an elderly voice greets you, and Astrid, you turn and see an old male tiefling with lime green skin and a shock of white hair atop his head. He's hunched. Both of his horns seem to protrude like eyebrows, except they're both snapped off at the tips here, but they have been capped with these beautiful gold and rune-inscribed caps. And he has this tiny little pince-nez over the bridge of his nose, and he walks in with a little cane, and he leans upon it and says, "Welcome, travelers, to the Arcaneum. My name is Curiosity. How may I indulge your curiosity?"
Astrid is just wide-eyed, just extra sparkly today. She's just like staring in awe at all of the shelves of like magic stuff.
"I can tell from your disposition that you are a magic user yourself. I can safely say that we have things that will cater to the arcanely gifted among you, as well as those of you who prefer to enhance your own latent abilities with magical gifts."
Is that an insult?
No, he's just saying you don't use magic, but you could.
You wield a weapon and it looks to be a shield that is enchanted somehow. Of course, it's no insult to your own ability. Simply that the creatures out there these days don't give much of a damn whether or not you've got magic or not.
You have that right. You have that right. What have you got?
I have all sorts of things. Feel free to browse if you like. I have a couple of things I have on sale today. Would you like to hear the latest items?
Sure. What's on special?
The four of these have sort of been lingering in the back room, and I would like to get rid of them to make room for new stock. For adventurers like you, I think they'd be very useful, but the folk around here have little use for them. The first is a pair of gloves of missile snaring. Not just arrows, not just crossbow bolts, manticore spines, that sort of thing. They come flying at you, pierce you right in your soft flesh. Wouldn't it be nice if you could simply snare them right out of the air with your own two hands? And he mimes catching an arrow in his fist. Very good for those who don't have any ranged capabilities themselves. For those of you who can cast spells and are looking for a wand to use, a wand of binding. I don't know. And he goes and looks through a book. Now, what did that particular piece do again? Ah, yes, here it is. Whenever anyone is attuned to this wand, you can use it to cast the sort of spells that paralyze other folks, monsters, people. Very good for moving in for the kill when it comes to those wandering beasts, or for escaping if you're in over your head.
Well, I can already do that, but do you want one?
I'm afraid only spellcasters can attune to this particular piece. And I get the sense that...
I've got all the binding I need right here. Pats her axe.
Very good, very good. Two more items. Cloak of Displacement made from real displacer beast hide. Great for avoiding enemy blows. And finally, if you're into a bit of subterfuge, a hat of disguise. Changes your appearance.
Oh, I love both of those last ones.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm afraid you've already got a rather fine-looking cloak on your back right now. I think you'll have to choose between one or the other if the cloak catches your fancy.
The gloves of missile snaring would help protect you.
Yeah. How much were those gloves?
Now, let me see. Now, usually I'd sell a piece like that for 500 gold, but today, 250.
250. I think that 500's a driven up price you give to the tourists. Astrid will look elsewhere.
Okay.
Oh.
And Mara puts her arm around Astrid's shoulder.
Oh, very well. Well. So are you trying to haggle with this guy?
Yeah.
Or you're just being okay? make a persuasion check then.
Persuasion, you say? That's an 8.
Let me try.
Okay.
See, I really love these gloves, but I just can't afford 250. But Can you just imagine a manticore attacking me? And she, like, bats her eyelashes. 14.
That's good. This shopkeeper, his face falls a little bit, and he says, "Now, I do think you can take care of yourself, but I would be very, very sorry if anything bad were to befall you in this case. Well, let's cut that down to 175. If that would help you on your way, then I've been meaning to get this into the hands, or on the hands, of a capable adventurer."
She is very capable, and I would hate for anything to happen to her.
I forget how much party gold we have.
We have a lot. I'm just bargaining with him, because where I come from, everyone bargains.
Now, love, I've already driven down the price twice, in fact. Now, I'm afraid 175 is as low as I'll go.
You're a shrewd businessman, Mr. Curiosity. I'll take them.
Very good. He hands him over, and he takes the bills out of your hand, takes 175, marks it down on a ledger.
Astrid pops them on, looks at Mara and says, "Okay, throw something at me."
Mara pulls out a pickaxe that she has. She was just repacking stuff.
Jesus!
Oh, she has a lot of different axes. You have to have. She has a hand axe, and actually, maybe, give me the back of holding. And
Curiosity puts his hands up and says, "Gods, do this outside, please."
Right.
There's a lot of valuable and breakable things in here.
Okay. I pull out a pickaxe, look at Astrid, I'm like, I have a climber's kit, so I'll pull out a python from that and spin it towards Astrid.
Cool. Make an attack roll.
I'm not really used to spinning pythons. Am I proficient with that?
No.
Probably not. And I guess this is Dex.
Yeah.
That's
Or
a
it's
6.
a thrown weapon.
Oh,
or
it's a
strength.
thrown weapon. Okay, that's better. That's 8.
The python just kicking right off the cobblestones outside.
Right. 9.
Ding, 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 ding.
It skips a few times.
I'll pick this up again later.
Right.
So I'll give you the full spell card some other time, Gwen, but basically, whenever you are hit by a ranged weapon attack, you can use your reaction to reduce the damage by 1d10 plus your dex modifier.
Okay, so it's like being a monk.
Except you can't spend a key point and throw it back.
Right.
Yeah.
Good bargaining. We make a fine team. Zephyr, is there anything you want to shop for?
No.
Okay. There are a couple of other shops out here in the main market square. Astrid, as you were heading out of this shop, the beautiful lilting sounds of a violin reach your ears. It looks like one of the buskers here on the street is playing a song.
Astrid follows her ears. Still wish you would let me summon my violin. I guess it could be in the bag of holding.
Yeah, it could be the bag of holding.
She reaches in and starts accompanying this other person.
Oh, cool.
A harmony.
Nice. So you have followed your ears to where this person is playing, and you see a figure who is sitting on the curb of one of the streets, draped in one of the less ostentatious outfits you've seen here. It's very simple, a brown cloak that may have been made out of various burlap materials, kind of all sewn together to make something simple. And a hood is pulled over, but this person is very clearly a tiefling. His horns go up, and you can see them sort of poking through the hood like they have carved their own holes right into it. And you're a pretty good improviser, is that right? You just sort of thrown something together. Go ahead and make a performance check for me.
For some reason, the one charisma skill I'm not proficient in. PDs, though. It's a non-nat 20.
Nice. So you stand near this guy, and your two instruments seem to blend together just beautifully. And as this tiefling notices that you're there, and you're beginning to play along with him, his playing changes a little bit. First, he's just been playing unaccompanied on his own, and you begin coming in and perform an accompaniment to his piece, and then he lets his playing fade into the background and becomes an accompaniment for your main melody, and you trade back and forth like this a couple of times until the tiefling stops. And I'd like you to make an insight check, Astrid.
$21.
Very nice.
Is it Sedge?
And you have a moment of discomfort as you recognize the song you've been playing. Mm-hmm. And it is a song that you didn't know that you knew. It just sort of came to you naturally. And as this burlap-clad tiefling sets down his fiddle and stands up to look at you, you do recognize him as the tiefling that met you in Crouna in that small village several months ago. And he looks at you with his one black eye and his one white eye, and a smile spreads across his face, and he says, "Astrid, it's a pleasure to see you again."
Can I make an insight check on this weirdo?
Sure.
I still don't know how you know.
Why am I rolling so poorly today?
I still don't know who you are.
I know. And it causes me great pain that that's the case. But I saw your sister recently enough.
You saw Crouna?
I
When?
did.
When?
And he pulls back his hood and shows his face to the rest of you. And this man, who goes by the name of Sedge, is a pale-skinned tiefling with fingers and horns that fade to black at their tips. His long black hair that falls down his back with a single streak of white in it. And he has one white irised eye and one black one. And he looks at the two of you, acknowledges your presence, and looks back at Astrid and says, just like you, she had two friends.
Who the hell are you, and where did you see Crouna?
My apologies, I've been terribly impolite. My name is Sedge. It's a pleasure to meet you. Will you do me the honor of giving me your name too?
Mara.
Charmed. And you?
Zephyr.
A pleasure. You wanted to know where I saw Crouna? You wanted to know who I am? I suppose I can tell you. I did come all this very long way to see you, after all.
I rolled 11 for intimidation, and Astrid stamps her foot and says, "Out with it!"
He laughs. He's not intimidated by it, but he does seem amused. And he says to you, My, you have some real fire in you, don't you? You weren't that way many years ago. You weren't that way when you were in that witch's cave.
What do you know about my mother?
Regrettably little, he says, his expression turning from amusement into distaste. If your birth mother hadn't handed you over to her to keep you away from me, things would have been a lot less difficult.
What do you know about my birth mother? I don't even know anything about her.
If she wanted Astrid away from you, and you away from her, then I can think we have something in common. Sedge.
A terrible misunderstanding, I assure you. Yes, I'm afraid I am terribly misunderstood.
I feel for you so terribly.
listen from one outsider to another. Surely you can listen to my speech. You can hear my sob story.
What reason have we to trust you? You say you know Astrid, yet you've been kept from her. You say you've met Krauna, yet you won't tell us when or where.
Yes.
Give us one reason why I shouldn't just split you in two with my axe.
Well, he looks around and says, why all these people, of course, attacking a poor busker on the street of the city? Poor form. I would have the guards on you faster. Well, so fast it would make your head spin.
Threatening? Not a good reason. Let's go, Astrid.
What, you won't say hello to dear old Dad?
You're not my dad.
Well, technically you're right, but I was possessing him when you were, a little baby tiefling. Krauna's the same way. Different mother, though.
Astrid just looks like she's short-circuiting right now.
Mm-hmm.
One reason to trust you.
One reason to trust me? Well, I can tell you where Krauna is, of course.
Oh, that's not a reason to trust
Astrid
you.
immediately lunges at him. Hands on his throat.
Go
Where is
for
she?
Yeah, Mara's been wanting to pick him up.
Gonna grapple this guy?
Yeah, strength check?
Yeah.
Gross.
What did you get?
8.
7.
Do you activate your boots of flying to,
Just,
jump
get
up?
momentum.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought he was still just, sitting on the...
No, he stood up.
Oh, okay.
But you rush him, the wings on your boots kick out a little bit, and you grab him by the shoulders and slam him against the wall of a building. And he is fully into the wall. His hands are up like this. His chin is up a little bit, looking down on you. You can see his tall horns digging into the stone of the building. And he does his best to look you dead in the eye and says, she's a world apart from you.
What exactly does that mean?
It means...
What would I roll to headbutt him in the nose?
Ooh! An unarmed strike, basically. Proficiency plus your strength.
19.
Yeah, you smack him with your forehead right in the face. You deal 1 point of damage plus your strength bonus.
0.
1 point of damage to him, and his skin is really tough. Because your unarmed attacks aren't magical, you deal half a point of damage. You come back, your head is buzzing a little bit as you pull back. He does seem phased, though.
I would argue that Astrid's body is magical.
He seems shocked, if nothing else. He reels back a little bit. His head bonks into the building. And he says, my gods above, she's in another world, you silly little girl.
What does that mean? Is she dead? Is she in the astral plane? What are you talking about?
She's very well alive, and she seems to be doing fine. She refused my help, for what it's worth.
And you can travel to this other world.
Yes, I can.
Can you take us there?
I regret that's beyond my power.
Insight check that motherfucker.
How tall is Sedge, by the way?
That's a good question. I don't know offhand. Hey, Kat, how tall is Sedge?
In tiefling form, 6'3".
Oh!
Is that before
So you're
horns?
definitely flying.
Is that before horns are
Before
taken?
horns.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, big boy.
He's taller when he's yeah.
Mara is standing at her
Yeah.
full height to try to loom over him, even though she's not quite as tall as he
Right,
is. But
right.
he's also smashed against a wall right now.
He's
so.
smashed against a wall. He's a lot scrawnier than you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, very willowy.
I got a 19 on that insight check.
To see if he can. This guy is glib beyond belief. His words are all slippery, like trying to grab a toad out of an oasis. You have no grasp on the veracity of what he's saying. And he says to Astrid, "Listen," and he seems to drop the veneer of cordiality that he's been leveling with you, and he says to you, "I can't take you there. Believe me, if I could, I would. I'd love to bring you to Crowna. I'd love to have the whole happy family back again. But I'm afraid it doesn't work that way."
So what do you want? Why are you here?
I wanted to give my lovely daughter a bit of advice, actually.
Astrid hisses in his face.
You're on a very dangerous path, Astrid.
And you're in a very dangerous position, Sedge.
I don't think you have any idea who or what you're dealing with.
I don't care. Speak to Astrid like that again, and I'll make you regret it.
From what I hear, you're traveling north, Astrid. You're traveling to the steppe. You're traveling to the place where the Godsworn live. Now, in my world, the place you're headed is a land called Kailumbra. It's called the Land of Fallen Angels. There's a great city in Kailumbra, where devils like me hold sway, and the smile on his face seems to stretch a little farther than any mortal smile should. His teeth seem a little bit sharper than they were a moment ago. And he says, "The place you're headed is on a very dark path, Astrid. These heretics that call it their home, these Godsworn, they worship your patron Elo, and they will worship him into his grave."
What the hell does that mean? He's already dead!
Are you so sure?
I want to cast Dispel Magic on him.
Okay.
To see what his real form is.
Okay.
I don't remember how that spell works.
So Dispel Magic automatically dispels 3rd level spells or below,
And
or
since
you
I
have
would
to
be
make...
casting it at 5th level. It would.
Oh, it'd be 5th level spells or below. So you are going to have to make a charisma check to try and dispel a spell of any higher level than that. And it is indeed a higher level spell than that.
A straight charisma check or a charisma save?
Charisma check.
Okay. 19.
That's exactly what you needed.
Yes.
Damn, it's a 9th level spell?
Yeah.
Bark.
You cast Dispel Magic, and so you... I don't know, you're holding him, you shove him a little bit harder against the wall, and just a ripple of golden energy shoots down from your elbows into the tips of your fingers, and Sedge is plastered against the wall like he's been webbed there. Mm-hmm. And this lattice...
What I want to do.
Yeah.
With this magic, like, woven in my fingertips, I grab his clothes, but really it's like the magic that's disguising him and rip it off.
Nice. And it's hard to do that. The web you've woven has sort of bonded with his disguised form, with his shape-changed form. But you manage to dig your fingers into the holes in the netting and just pull right out. And as you do so, you can see the wispy image of the pale tiefling disappear into mist. And what you initially see is like this. It's like a humanoid shape of glowing white light for a moment, and then it seems to twist and grow, and until it is double its original size, this humanoid form. And then from that glowing yellowish white form, first you see it grow to nearly 20 feet tall, towering over you. And then its spine seems to be crunched at nearly a right angle, and it hunches into a bestial, almost four-legged pose. Its hands and feet, first its feet turn digitigrade, their knee bends inward, and the claws grow long. His fingers grow to the length of knives in a similar sharpness. His head elongates into this nasty underbite filled with blade-sharp teeth. His spine grows ridges as each vertebrae turns into a deadly spike. And last of all, his spine elongates and bursts out of his back into a long tail that terminates with a vicious scorpion-like stinger. His entire body looks emaciated, like a skeleton, with just a thin layer of ash-white flesh stretched across it.
Astrid screams bloody murder and stumbles backward and summons her sword.
He looks down at you and bares his teeth, and Mara has a sassy one-liner.
Well, Mara steps in with her axe out, says, "You are way too ugly to be Astrid's dad."
And he looks at you and snarls, and he says, You are impertinent. How dare you? This place is brimming with magic. No one would have known. We could have let each other go on our merry way. You had to do this. You had to ruin this.
What is the reaction of everyone around here? Speaking of?
Yeah, you look around, and as Sedge begins to speak, people begin to notice the wall that he was pressed against cracked and buckled a little bit. And as people begin to notice what's going on, first you hear screams from the street, calls for, "There's a monster in town! Guards! And people in armor start rushing towards the center of town. Heck, roll initiative.
We always wanted to be able to 22.
Okay.
21.
Okay.
Fucking tussle.
Astrid's fucking pissed. How about Zephyr?
11.
11 for Zeph. Astrid, you're up first.
I'm gonna cast Sunbeam at him.
Go for
My
it.
new Mystic Arcanum, and also I don't remember how it works.
So you cast Sunbeam. You direct it right at Sedge's chest, and he makes a Constitution save. Is that what?
Yes, please.
Whoa. There we go. That is going to be a 23.
Oh, fuck that noise. Well, it still takes half as much damage.
Yeah, but I don't believe he's blinded. Yeah, that sunbeam cuts right into his white chitinous armor, and he recoils in pain. Mara, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm already pretty mad, so I'm gonna rage. And I run in and bring my newly sharpened magical axe down on that icky white carapace. Who should I reckless attack? No, this guy is dangerous. First attack, that is 21 to hit.
Oh yeah.
Second attack, that is a 17 to hit.
That misses.
I can add, yeah, 17 to hit. Okay, that will be, yeah, my rage damage is still +3, so 16 damage.
8 damage.
It's a magic axe.
I know.
What good is a magic axe if it doesn't do what a magic axe is supposed to do?
Would you like to make a intelligence check as a reaction?
No, I'm too mad.
Yep. Okay. It is Sedge's turn, And he is going to look around. He sees Mara and Astrid and Zephyr, and he sees the guards that have taken note of his appearance, but he's pretty pissed off. Yeah, he's going to attack you guys. He is going to make 3 attacks. He raises up these 2 vicious claws and the barbed scorpion-like tail that lashes around behind him, raises and prepares to strike too. He is going to make 1 claw attack at Zephyr and 1 at Astrid. And so the one at Zephyr is going to be 14. I don't think that hits.
Nope.
And the one at Astrid is going to be a 21, which I suspect hits. Yeah.
Oh, you guys also get plus 9.5
Yes.
temporary HP.
So 9 temporary hit points.
You're going to take 8 damage.
Okay.
And his scorpion-like stinger lashes out at Mara. And he says, "You should learn your place."
I also want to hellish rebuke him.
But only 10. You dodge out of the way, and the stinger just crashes into the cobblestones.
Can I have a dex save?
Oh, yes. Hellish Rebuke. And what damage type is that?
Fire. Which I assume he's probably immune to.
Dex save is only 11.
One of those is not.
Regrettably, he is immune.
Immune?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Dad.
I hate this fucking family. Okay, that brings us to Zephyr's turn.
He can roast marshmallows really well with those bone claws, though.
Something about the word bone claws has unsettled me.
A 9 and a 23.
9 to 23. The 23 hits. And you know, weirdly, the 9 hits too. No.
And
He has disadvantage against elves.
I will use a 3rd level spell for Divine Smite.
Nice.
Yes. And I believe you add an extra d8 because he is a fiend.
And an extra 1d8 for what I get this level. Improved Divine Smite.
Nice.
30.
30 damage.
Whoa.
Sedge spits and wails, and he looks down at Zephyr, and he says, "For such an unassuming little creature, your sword packs quite a wallop. I should crush you like the bug you are." Astrid's turn.
Okay, well the sunbeam didn't do a whole hell of a lot, so she's just gonna, she still has this moat until she loses concentration. She just like tucks it in her shirt. And readies her sword. And I get advantage because Mara's there.
Yup. Oh, I love it when we're all in melee together.
Okay, well one of those is a non-net 20.
Nice. That's a hit.
1d8 plus... Sweet. 5 damage. I'm gonna do it again.
Cut in half to 2, I'm afraid. Alright, that brings us to Mara.
Okay. Can I take a quick look at the guards here and assess, like, do they seem competent? Are they completely flabbergasted and terrified?
Sure, as a reaction, make an insight check.
6.
Okay. Is your disposition towards trusting local warriors or towards not trusting local warriors?
Yeah, I would trust them. It's not that I would distrust them. I just want to see, like, should I encourage them to face this threat, or are they just going to get themselves killed?
Okay. So it's only been 12 seconds since this battle began, but the guards here seem to be rather well equipped. You can see that they are all decked out in shining half-plate armor, has been polished to a mirror gleam. They have a shield that bears the crest of Reclamation's Pride upon it. They have helmets that actually have holes for their tiefling horns to curl through, and those humans among the guard have ram's horns upon their helmet. and they carry blades, some swords, some have spears, some have axes, and all of these weapons seem to shine like silver. And they have begun rushing up. There are 4 guards on the scene right now, and they are in this sort of market square. They're by the fountain.
Mara takes her eyes off Sedge for an instant to glance them over and says, "Good, it's a devil. Watch out for the tail. If any of you have magic, use it."
Make a persuasion check.
Good, 14.
Your natural leadership ability seems to bring them to bear. Yeah,
Nice.
They look at you and they nod. They don't give you a salute or anything, but they acknowledge and they adopt a battle stance. What are you going to do?
If I still have my action, I will attack.
Go for it.
Okay. I will also. Oh, I used my bonus action. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yes, but I am going to attack. So 2 attacks. Let's see. That's a 17, so that doesn't hit. No, wait. That's a 18.
Nope.
Okay. The other one is well over 20.
Yes.
And that is 15 damage. So cut in half to 7.
Yeah. Hey, he's taken 69 damage.
Nice.
Cool. There we go. We've got it. Now it all makes sense.
I just realized we forgot to slate.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, we did forget to slate. That's unfortunate.
But not the end of the world?
But not the end of the world. I'll bet if... That kind of sucks, actually.
Yeah.
I can figure it out. You know, if I slate right now...
It would hurt.
Then, yeah, slating anywhere, not having it at the very beginning is kind of shitty. It makes it harder. But if I slate right now, I can align it, an hour in.
Right.
And then,
To make a note of when you did it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go right now. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, but I haven't forgotten those bird wings.
Okay.
I got it. Very good. So I believe Mara just attacked.
Yes.
Which means it's Sedge's turn now. Sedge sees the guards, and his skull-like face twists into a scowl, and he says, "If you kill me here, it will serve you none. I will simply be returned to my own world. Astrid, I'm here to give you a word of advice. Do not fight the Godsworn. It will end in pain for you."
Explain.
Can I insight check this?
Sure.
I want to get a sense of... I want to say what I want before. I want to get a sense of, does he genuinely care for Astrid at all in some creepy way? Or is this some sort of ploy to warn us away for his own ends?
Go for it.
Not great.
I'm so tempted to use my inspiration on this, but I don't really want to. It's not worth it. That's a 4. I can't insight check a bone skeleton man.
Bone daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, don't ever say those words again.
I'm not the first one. It's from something, but I don't remember what.
It's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Christ. Anyway, persuasion check.
Persuasion check.
17.
17.
And she just yelled at him to explain.
Explain. He looks at you, and he looks back at the guards who are now advancing with their drawn silvered blades, and he looks down at you and says, "You go there, and you assure Elo's death." And he, on his turn, leaps into the air, provoking opportunity attacks from all of you, if you choose to take them.
Can I just grab onto him?
Ooh. Okay, try and grapple him. It's a
My
strength
wings
check.
are still flying, so...
Yeah. Is that a 2? What's the total?
2.
See, I rolled a natural 1, but that's a total of 5, so he makes it. So he lifts off the ground. Those wings are buzzing in the air, and you actually make a very valiant leap at him. You grab his ankle, and he is totally unprepared. But nevertheless, the force of his lift is too strong, and the wind of his wings beats you back down onto the ground. Any opportunity attacks coming from you two? Cool.
I'm kind of too stunned by what he just said.
Very good. And he is up in the air, and he looks down at all of Reclamation's pride, and he spits, and he buzzes off into the distance.
Buzz off! That's right!
Astrid just sort of sits there in the dirt, and the sunbeam she has tucked into her shirt just sort of fades.
Mm-hmm.
Mara puts a hand on Astrid's shoulder, looks at the guards. Good fighting.
The guards look to you as if to say, we didn't do anything.
Oh, I was saying that to Zephyr.
Oh, okay.
And then, sorry, good fighting. Looks at the guards. We need to find premonition.
One of the guards steps up to you. He is a tiefling with flame red skin and horns that seem to wave back and forth as they emitted angles. And
Is his sword also a wavy sword?
Flame bears.
Yeah, it is. And he looks at you and he bows his head for a moment and he says, first of all, thank you so much. The appearance of a devil in Reclamation's pride is unthinkable. Your actions were nothing short of heroic.
He was disguised as one of us.
We heard him say something. He's absolutely right. This place is suffused with magic. No one would have been able to see through his disguise. No one would have been able to sense that he was disguised. And he looks back at you and says, you need to see premonition. I'm afraid that in order to do so, you will need the good word of Reclamation herself.
Then we'll get it.
We would be honored.
Then I shall take you. Here, hurry, come with me. And the guards flank you on either side.
Escort.
And rush you towards the steps of Reclamation's palace. You can see the great stone lions standing very, very regally. They remind you a little bit of the temple dogs outside of the...
Eyeing them, making sure they're not going to come to life.
These ones do seem to be made of stone.
Yeah, but so did the other ones.
They had this beautiful greenish gold coloration. These ones look like carved stones, but their eyes are inlaid rubies that seem to glimmer as you pass. And you rush up the steps, passing 12 of these lions as you do so. You enter the palace. 2 great crimson doors part before you, and you wind through a maze-like network of passages and corridors until you reach the throne room. Mara a little bit perturbed by this.
Mara doesn't like not knowing where the exits are.
And the guards turn to you, and the tiefling that spoke at first says, "This is Her Ladyship's chambers. We would ask of you that you not raise your voice too loud." And he bows his head, and the guards open up the doors, and you step into a throne room that is adorned with gold and red banners. It is actually rather small, a simple chamber no more than 20 feet in diameter, and at the far end, on the same level as you, is a chair. Not really a throne, a simple wooden chair that's a little bit wider than most, and it has two iron hoops on either end. And you can see sitting in it is a tiefling with golden yellow skin. She looks quite aged. Easily looking 20 or more years older than you, Mara. She has a great mane of silvery hair that surrounds her face and rolls onto her shoulders. She has these grand golden hoop earrings on, and her eyes are despite her apparent age, still very sharp, piercingly white as they look at you. Whitish silver irises. She has many scars all over her face from claws and blades, and it looks like even a couple of magical burn marks around her exposed shoulders. And she is missing her left leg. And as you enter the chamber, she wheels her chair towards you and looks up and says, "I can't say I recognize your faces."
Astrid takes a deep bow.
She nods and raises a hand as if to stand you back up again.
I'm Mara, chieftain of the Skycaller people. These are my companions, Astrid and Zephyr.
It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Reclamation. I'm the leader of this city-state.
It's an honor.
Your faces are new to me, but I admit your names are not. I have heard of you, Lightbringers. You are heroes, war heroes. What brings you to my city?
We need to speak with premonition.
If you have heard of us, then you have also heard of our three companions.
Indeed I have.
And have you heard that they were lost at the Battle of Hollow Mountain?
I regret to say that I also have.
We have believed since then that they are not dead.
Is that so?
And today we've received confirmation of a sort that may be true from, well, I suppose you'll hear from your guards soon enough, a bone devil disguised as a tiefling in this city.
And you wish to speak to Premonition?
We've heard that through her dreams, she may be able to find our friends.
Reclamation nods. She wheels a little bit closer to you, looks into each of your eyes. She looks into the starry skies behind Astrid's vision, looks at Mara, looks at Zephyr. These people mean a great deal to you, and you have suffered much from their loss. She hangs her head for a moment and nods. I will take you to Premonition. I hope that her power will give you what you seek. And let me say one thing. Thank you. There were times when I would have fought the war you were fighting. Decades and decades ago, I have gone through something not unlike what you have, and I know the strength it requires to take on such a burden. You are carrying the hopes of more people than you know.
Mara just bows to her again, one leader to another.
Come, I will introduce you to the speaker in dreams. With what seems to be great effort, she braces her hands on the arms of her chair, and she holds herself up on her one good leg, and she raises a hand, and it is surrounded by a green light, and she focuses, it seems like all of the energy into her body, into this one point in her hand, and then opens it, and there is a flash and a metallic sound, and a leg of shimmering jade magic appears at the stump of her missing limb. And she doubles over for a moment, seemingly winded by the exertion, but she taps the ground a little bit with this and says, "Come, let's not delay." And she strides down the hall. Despite the exertion of the spell, she seems quite sprightly for her age. And you wind through another series of passages, and you eventually reach an unassuming door. one that looks like it could be a simple bedroom. And she knocks a very specific pattern. 5 simple hits, and the door swings open of its own accord, and beyond it, you can see nothing. It's a simple black void that extends beyond the door. And Reclamation puts her hand upon the door jamb and says, "This is the place you seek. Into the threshold."
Astrid steps forward.
And you are swallowed by the darkness.
Mara will follow.
You follow, and you too are swallowed by the darkness until it's just Zephyr and Reclamation there.
Zephyr goes in.
You go in as well. And you all find yourselves standing in a room which seems to be wallpapered by stars. You stand upon a 20, 30-foot diameter...
Astrid is like, "This is my dream childhood bedroom!"
You stand on a platform about 20 or 30 feet wide that has the image of a compass rose emblazoned in gold along it. And you have walked through what appears to be no door. You just have phased through one of the walls. And you see in the middle one other tiefling sitting cross-legged right at the heart of this compass. And she looks up. She has one horn that curves out and then up, and one horn that seems to do the same, but it has been severed right here at the edge, and it is capped by a little silver cap. She has midnight blue hair that is braided intensely in all sorts of fantastic patterns that remind you a lot of a Saranon, Zephyr, until it is sort of tied into a little bun at the back of her head. And she looks up and she says, "I have foreseen your coming."
That must be convenient.
Astrid sits, cross-legged
Cool.
in front of her.
Do you all do that?
Yeah. We have been hoping to speak with you.
I have been dreading speaking with you.
And why might that be?
I have been dreading this moment because what you will ask of me is something that I have never dared do before.
But we can't make you do it.
We can only ask.
Why would you ask this of me?
We, as I'm sure you've foreseen, have lost people very important to us, but lost them to some other place that we cannot go. And we can't find it, and we don't know the name of it. And we were told that you could help.
Many believed that after the Battle of Hollow Mountain, the war would be over, that the people of Auredane could resume their lives in peace, that after Renault was defeated, we would no longer be threatened, but we have found this is not true, that his lieutenants still occupy Broadfurrow and threaten Nortalk, and we still do not know what became of Offense.
You provide me with two very compelling reasons. One close to your heart, and the other close to your minds. I cannot refuse such a request. And it is at this moment, Astrid, that you hear that same whispering voice that you heard in the bathroom of the hotel, coming from the amulet around your neck. And you recognize it this time, and it's close to you this time. And you raise this little pendant up to you, straining to hear the words it's saying, but even right next to your ear, the voice, for it is clearly a voice, is distant, a whisper drawn across a space of thousands and thousands of miles. But as the voice begins to pass through, for a reason that you can't explain, it suddenly becomes clearer. And as the voice sharpens, the walls of this chamber begin to change as well. The stars begin to swirl and spiral about you. The floor begins to crumble away. Mara and Zephyr, you can see that Premonition has closed her eyes and clasped her hands in front of her chest, and that she is beginning to blur out of existence, like paint being rubbed with a wet cloth. And the voice, which was just distant whispers before, grows stronger and stronger and stronger still. Until you hear it distinctly as Krauna's voice. And the room, whose stars have spun like a carousel around and around until the pinpoints were streaks of white light, now begin to settle, and you are all together in the same room as you were before, except now there are 3 other people there as well. And we're going to take a break right there real quick. We'll catch you at the end. Peace.
Those cliffhangers, though!
Hey there, welcome to the middle of the episode. There is some really big stuff happening right after the break, so I hope you stick with us until then. While we're here taking a break, I would like to very quickly talk about our sponsor, Kobold Press, who has been absolutely amazing this whole time. Their support has really made it possible for us to make this show, namely the use of some monsters from the Tome of Beasts and the Creature Codex, which, while I didn't use this episode, I try to use as much as I possibly can, not just because they're our good friends and they are helping make the show happen, but because those monsters are absolutely incredible. Right now, Kobold Press is opening pre-orders for a massive and very cool new adventure called Courts of the Shadow Fae. An adventure filled with intrigue, fae mystery, and perhaps even a little bit of courtly romance. It's available on the Kobold Press store for pre-order right now. I'll stick a link to that down below. And you might even be able to get your hands on a special edition copy with a remarkable leatherette cover and a plethora of editions that I think you'll find quite useful. And finally, a huge thank you to everyone who is supporting us on Patreon. Even more than any of our sponsors, we could not do what we do without you. So, if you're one of our patrons on Patreon, I thank you from the absolute bottom of my heart. You mean the world to me. If you are watching this video and you aren't supporting us on Patreon, I understand, but I would love it if you could throw a couple of dollars our way, get some bonus content from us, and help make the show even better. One thing that the patrons have allowed us to do is turn Worlds Apart into a podcast. Now, that podcast has just been finished by the magnificent co-producer of Don't Split the Podcast, Rudy Basso, and if it's not up already, it will be up very soon. Keep an eye on our social media to see when the podcast episodes go live. But if you have been listening to Worlds Apart on YouTube, not looking at the video too much and burning all your mobile data doing it, never fear. We will be cooking through our backlog to make this show a podcast. And hopefully when we catch up, we'll try and keep it concurrent. No promises, but we'll do our very best. But your patronage on Patreon has allowed us to hire Rudy to do this podcast stuff for us, because God, heavens knows we wouldn't be able to do it on our own. There's just not enough time in the day for all this stuff to get done. So, you're doing great things, Patreons. That's all I have to say for now. Thanks so much for watching. Let's get into the episode. Let's reunite our party. See you soon. Hey, we're back from break, and I have some guests with me. Yay! My other usual players. Fine.
What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, so let's get into it. So the Room of Stars has spun and spun like a carousel until the points of light became like streaks spiraling around the walls. And then the revolution slowly halted until the stars once again shone as individual points in the sky. And Astrid, you had your amulet close to your face, close to your ear, as if to hear Crowna's voice. And those words that Crowna spoke in Tenebrae, in the village of Ash Hill, began to go into your ear. You began to hear them in full clarity. And all of a sudden, you are you're actually cross-legged sitting in this room. Premonition has vanished. She is blurred out of existence. And you see standing above you are your three departed friends. What happens is you see them first not as people, but as if they are wireframes, like a constellation drawn as points between stars. And as the room begins to halt, their true forms begin to fade into view. Both of you, Crowna and Tico, look about. You are as confused as I think you could possibly be. The last thing that either of you remember are standing in the grotto just outside of Ash Hill. The Dryad has vanished from your sight, Magpie has vanished from your sight, and your surroundings have all changed. It's as if you have been plucked once more out of the world you know, and you were standing in a black void. It reminds you a great deal, actually, of the void that all six of you encountered when you were first pulled apart after the Battle of Hollow Mountain. And above you, you can see that golden orb of light that you three were pulled back to. And beneath you, you can see the swirling blue vortex that you were pulled into when you entered Tenebrae. Who is the first to speak? It's not a Saranon.
I do.
Yes, they're prepared. Wait, okay, so...
I'm sorry. I just want to check my necklace.
Yeah.
Is it... I'm just take it out because I've been wearing it like a choker.
Yeah. You take it out, and the light in its center is glowing like never before. Mm-hmm. It is no longer a little marble-sized dot, but it has grown to fill the entire the triangular hole in the center of this hexagon necklace. It's in fact shining so brightly that you can see the beginnings of that golden cord again beginning to create a little cone and then spiral down to a point pointing right at Mara.
Oh, and I can see Mara.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And yeah, all six of you can see one another.
Okay, I guess Tico will then just yell, Mara!
Tico!
Can we hear each other?
You can hear each other. It's as if it's through, like you're speaking into a glass and it echoes a little bit, like, Mara!
Oh my gosh.
Take another.
Stupid.
It echoes a little bit, and then a little spills on you.
Yeah, it's as if you're speaking into a glass, like, Mara! But you can hear one another clearly.
Okay, I'm gonna try, Tico's gonna try to like, run, following the cord.
Yeah. You run right up to her, and do you put your hands on her?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go for like a hug.
Yeah, and you connect, and there, Crowna, you distinctly remember a moment when you saw Sedge
Tiny.
in Tenebrae when you connected with him, and then rushed right through him, but that does not happen here. There is a true physical connection. You grab onto one another.
Mara!
Mara just has her arms around Tico and is resting her chin on his head.
I knew we'd find you. I knew it.
You're here. You're really here.
I don't know where here is, but
I mean, it's you. Where are you?
we were in a cave, and then before that we were in some sort of other world. The sky was all red and fiery, and I don't know. Where are you?
We're in Reclamation's Pride.
Oh.
We're speaking.
Does Tico know where that is?
Nope. But he also likes to pretend he knows things.
Maybe a name you've heard before.
Yeah,
You might-
it sounds vaguely familiar. It's definitely not in Omaville, so.
Yeah.
I know where Portland is.
But now, I mean, I don't see anything. Are we in the same place?
We're speaking with a tiefling named Premonition who can talk between worlds.
Oh. Wait, I'm gonna look back at.
I can't do that. If you're about to ask me if I can do that, cannot do that. It's not all tieflings thing.
Upon hearing Kana like actually speak, Astrid like leaps to her feet, but she's like hovering a few inches off the ground because of her boots, and she just torpedoes straight at Krona.
Okay.
And like
she sees
wraps
this,
her in a hug.
She's taller than Krona, and she's flying at her at top speed.
Do you take her down?
Oh yeah.
Krona, can you believe
I'm gonna
it?
grapple her with a hug. 10.
I'm not resisting. Krona like kind of just lying flat on her back, just kind of dazed. Because, like, a second before, she was in this brightly lit grotto, and she was playing some music and just chilling out, and now she's, like, here. She's very disoriented, so she's like,
And Astrid's crying these, like, huge Jubilee tears.
oh, honey, you're smudging your eyeliner. You got it. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Nice seeing you. What's going on? Oh God, please. Just, can you stop crying? It's more smudge now. I'm sorry, but...
Astrid, like, gets off of Krona.
Are you guys all okay? Are you guys hurt?
We're fine.
We're fine. We just fought a bone devil who said he's our father?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I kind of told him not to have anything to do with you, but apparently he didn't listen. Yeah, surprise, I guess.
You have some explaining to do, young
Okay,
lady.
he's not our dad. Our dad is a different dude. This is just like our weird uncle. I don't know. He thinks he's our...
possessing our dad?
Oh, yeah.
Is that like a thing? Is that where tieflings come from?
You don't know where...
I was raised by an elf!
Wow, you are so young. You're...
Yeah, and you never helped.
But you guys are all okay. You survived the battle. Renaud, he's dead, right?
Well,
I mean...
Well, of course he's dead.
actually,
I mean, he's
he's in our world.
a lich, apparently.
Right.
And we thought we killed him, but everyone's like, oh no, Renaud's fine. So we're just
Have
trying
you
to...
seen
Well,
him?
you know how liches
Get
work, right?
some-
I don't know anything about tiefling babies, but
You know how liches work, but not babies?
I know how human babies are born.
Why is that useful information?
Yeah, nobody cares.
Excuse me.
They write about it in books, alright?
Okay. Yeah, so Renaud, see everyone over there, it's called Tenebrae, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of sucks. The sun never sets. It's always red.
It's also not really a sun, it's like a weird fireball.
That's what a sun is.
Wait, really?
Now's not a time for astronomy lessons.
Shooting just a
We're
little
in
bit
anatomy
fast in
lesson,
case.
apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
You are... You're so dumb.
Wow.
But yeah,
Saradon has been kind of in this little reverie this whole time. She's been looking at Zephyr, and she's been placid is not the right word. It's like she's in a state of shock for a moment. She's just been sort of staring at you this whole time, trying to come up with anything to say. And then as you reach over her to like call Tico dumb, she's like, "That is rude, Krona. Do not do that."
you're thinking the same thing.
Please do not presume to speak for me.
Irony!
Yeah, I can't wait for Jen to see this.
I'm trying to speak for as little as possible.
Okay, so here's the lowdown. We're in a place called Tenebrae. No one over there has ever heard of anything that's over here. No one there knows who I am. And
Renaud-
so
that sucks for
Renaud is
whack as hell.
Renaud is the emperor of this place.
Yeah.
He's like in charge?
Yeah.
And he's alive?
Well, we haven't seen him personally, but everyone's like, oh yeah, Renaud, the emperor, he's super cool and also not dead. We would know if he was dead.
He's in like all the books and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, hey Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Is it feasible that Astrid does know how liches work?
I mean, Ashfeld told you how liches work.
Oh.
Yeah, like in Cats of Omavel, he was like, yeah, Renaud's probably got a phylactery somewhere, and gotta stab that thing, then it'll explode.
So,
Wait,
I
are we,
Mara
like-
totally forgot this.
Are we like back for good? Can we just go home now? Like, where's the exit?
Yeah, where are we?
Where are we going? Oh, Kit.
Yeah,
Kind of
Mara's still
jumps a
holding on
little.
to Tico.
See?
Yeah.
So, Krona, you first of all, you guys are standing on
Nothing.
nothing. Like your feet are just kind of touching the ground. So you jump, and you fall down and you hit the ground. You're a little unsteady. Would you make a perception check for me, please?
Okie dokie.
Now he's dumb.
Hey, Tico, how about you do this for me? Then?
Okay.
How about you make a
Come
perception check?
on.
That's
Wait, is it nat 1 or nat 20?
no, they both rolled twos.
We both are real stupid right now. But we've got a lot going on. Wait, how about a Serenon?
Let's Sarah roll.
We're gonna get the triple threat, the triple two. Okay.
Oh.
A Serenon.
What are your...
A Serenon looks down and then looks up, and she says, "Oh, I don't want to speak for Jenna. I don't want to do this. Hey, Mara."
Yes.
You notice that all of a sudden they're a lot shorter than you thought they were. And in fact,
No, I'm like holding on Tico.
yeah, in fact you're having to reach down a long way to reach Tico. And it looks like there is about a foot difference in between where both of your feet are standing on the
I want to pull
ground.
Tico up.
You pull him up and you are holding him in the air.
Oh,
and
like
his
a baby.
His feet are just kind of dangling.
Well, not like
He's
a
a
baby,
man.
no, but
Full-grown
He's
tiny
a-
man.
Just kind of like grabs him by the rib cage.
Yeah, but if you were to set him down, the floor would be a foot lower for Tico and Krona and a Serenon than would be for Astrid
and it definitely
Mara
wasn't
and
this way
Zephyr.
before.
No.
And it's towards that swirly...
Yeah, the golden light is up there, and the blue vortex is down there.
Astrid's gonna grab Crona's hands and try to fly to the gold light.
Oh, good idea. Smart thinking.
Ooh, yeah. Hey, good idea. So you grab Krona, and you begin to fly up. And Astrid, you must make a strength check.
Great, I'm so good at those.
There's been a lot of those this game.
I'm preying on her weakest ability score.
Oh.
5.
So you begin to lift her up, and Krona, you begin. It feels like someone has just kind of put their hand around like your spine right here, and is just kind of
Yikes.
pulling you down.
Oh, stop it.
And at that point, your hands are kind of sweaty, and you just kind of lose your grip on Krona, and she tumbles down to the ground.
It's fine.
Are you okay?
Yep. All good. There's nothing to land on.
And you do fall kind of slowly. You tumble a couple of times until you land not painlessly or weightlessly, but like you've landed on cushions. And you're just kind of flat on your back right next to Tico and Saranon.
Okay, well, doesn't look like we're getting back. We're getting back this way.
We'll find something.
Yeah, we gotta figure this out. Tenebrae sucks. There's no good food. The beer is all shitty.
That's true.
It sucks so bad.
There's no
Yeah,
plants.
I miss you too.
I'm better at talking to you when you're not here.
We've been trying to find a way to get back to you, but there's a lot of stuff messed up in this world.
Yeah.
Is this the world that all the monsters came from?
I don't know.
Never
I mean,
really seen a
it
ton
must
of
be if
monsters.
Renault brought them through.
We haven't seen monsters, really. We see people, mostly.
We've seen there's people.
Yeah.
But-
There's, like, different kinds of people, but they're people.
But the gods are all. I don't know.
Oh,
anything
yeah. Yeah, this is, like, important to some of you, I guess, but the dead gods are alive in this world, and the ones that are alive in our world are dead over here, except they're still kind of dead-ish. Because, like, I don't know, because they were alive when the war ended in this world, and then they became deader and deader later. I'm not sure why this is.
Yeah, that's how
Sarah,
time
how did
works.
this, how does
not
it
for
go?
Yeah, Sarah,
gods.
tell us about the gods.
Listen, I do not have any knowledge firsthand about this, but what I think we were told was that the gods, like Nerugal and Kieva and Elo, they all were like jailers in this world. They trapped the monsters here.
Oh right, that was it.
And they were watching over them, and then something happened, and now all of the gods are dead in Tenebrae.
Yeah,
And
so
they
they're
have a
dead
monster.
still, but they weren't. You know, I don't. It's the same shit, I guess.
Yeah,
they're
it's,
still dead.
it's very
gods.
weird.
But that's something Sedge said. We were going to fight this cult of freaks that call themselves the Godsworn, and they say that they worship Elo, but they wouldn't be doing such horrible things if that were true. And Sedge told me that if we fought them, it would lead to Elo's death.
But how can that be true if he's already dead twice?
Yeah,
Except
he
he's
dead,
a god,
Don't worry
so
about that. Probably.
What's
Maybe.
he talking about?
Well, it seems like there's something weird about death in Tenebrae because the elves.
Oh yeah.
The elves there, their souls aren't allowed to die.
Yeah, there's just sort of a bunch of elf souls floating around there, and no elf bodies. Don't know what the deal is with that, but
Yeah, Zephyr, it is the opposite of what is happening in your world. In our world, like where we are, there are all of the elf souls have bodies. There are no. That's why they have to die to make more. But in this world, there are so many elves that are dead, but there is no nature to create new elves from. All the spirits are trapped in a limbo, and I don't know, that makes me very uncomfortable.
yeah, nothing grows. It's fucked up. They don't farm. They farm rocks. That's what they call it. Rock farming. It's mining. You dig them out of the ground and it's mining. It's not farming a rock. What are you talking about? It's fucked up. Please get us out of here.
And Zephyr, there is an island out east of where we are, an elven kingdom here that was destroyed by a kraken, a creature that came up from the bottom of the ocean. I do not know what that means exactly, if it has any bearing on our world, but things are very bad. Things are very bad here. There's someone who's looking for the bones of Nerugal. I do not like it here in Tenebrae.
And I don't think we can just leave. I feel like we have to help.
This is a whole world we're talking about. And you know what? If we're stuck here forever, I think we could survive just fine.
I think
That's
Tico's
doable.
right.
But what?
I think Tico's right. If Renault has invaded Auredane from that world and the gods are dead there, then the only way to stop him from coming back is to fix what's happening and defeat it in there.
I don't know if you know this. To kill a lich for good, you have to find... I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's called a phylactery. It's what his soul is in.
Okay.
If you destroy it, he'll be gone for good.
Also, we are very weak now.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's shitty. I do not think killing a lich seems not likely.
I forgot how to do parkour.
Can you still play the cello?
Yes, I could still play the cello. That's not like
But it's not as good.
Listen, I play it perfectly. My technique is flawless.
It's
My
okay.
performances are captivating. I just can't turn invisible and shit.
You guys are now about 5 feet separated.
Oh, no!
I'm like
Roughly.
kneeling down to talk to Tico.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happens if, like, Astrid were to try to, like, step off whatever ledge she's perceiving?
It's like there are 2 separate floors. Like there are glass floors that are rising and lowering.
Okay. Krana's gonna reach up to Astrid,
And break
like,
the
to her
glass
hand. No. No, she's gonna, like, clasp her hand and look at Astrid, and she looks, like, dead serious for once. And she's like, Astrid, you do everything you need to get through whatever is happening on that side. Look out for yourself. Don't let Sedge take advantage of you, and don't let anyone else either. You got it? We'll be fine over here. I am a very capable person, and we will find our way back to you.
And hurry, I miss you.
Yeah, you too.
And Mara is saying to Tico, we'll find you. We'll find you somehow.
We'll find you.
I'm going to write a letter to your parents.
Oh,
Is there anything you want me to say to them?
Tell them I'm okay. I don't want them to worry. I'll get back to them, and they don't have to worry about me being gone. Just
I'll tell them.
tell them I'm somewhere safe.
You're not. You're constantly in mortal peril.
Yeah, don't tell them that. Don't say that.
You literally cannot have food that lasts more than 24 hours. It vanishes in her hands, and then there's the
They don't
potential
need to
of
know that
starving.
part. They don't need that one.
Can I give them something? Do we have our bag of holding in here?
You do. You both have your bags of holding.
Astrid, give me the bag. I'm pulling out the bag, and I'm going to give Tico a vial. You know what? No, I'm going to give him 2 vials.
As you open the bag of holding, the skull of Renaud's staff leaps from the bag. Boom! And it arcs through the air, and it
think that was
seems to be
stupid.
hurtling towards... you have the bag of holding, right,
Yeah.
Hannah? It's like heading like a missile right at your chest.
Can I, like, instinctively punch it?
What happens...
Wait, what about the gloves of missile staring?
Yeah.
It's not attacking you. What actually happens is the skull, it's arced up into the air, and then it hits the floor where your feet are on. And it just seems to be sort of shaking and trying to punch through and get towards you.
Grab it by its cervical vertebrae.
Yeah.
Just jam it back in the bag.
Wait, we have the skull side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
you have the
the
skull side.
spine
Its eyes, which have 2 rubies inlaid in the eye sockets. Those eyes are like glowing like headlights. There's just this huge red light pouring from the skull.
Wait, I slap it first and then I do it.
You slap it, it spins around like a cartoon. Yeah, and the light kind of
Stop
flickers
that.
a little bit, and then you put it back into the bag.
Sarah,
You can feel a little bit of a rumbling
Yeah.
in your bag as well.
Did I get the things I wanted to get out or no?
Make a dexterity check for me.
Okay.
Skull dodging.
13?
I'm
Maybe
gonna
one
roll
of
for
the
the
2?
skull.
It better not have.
Yeah, no, yeah, you beat the skull.
Oh.
13. Yes. What was it you were grabbing?
I was wanting to grab the panacea and the potion of superior healing.
Okay. Very
Ooh,
nice.
thank you.
So you grab. She grabs. Do you want to explain it?
Yeah. Oh.
I don't actually remember what the panacea does, but I give these to Tico and I say, this is magic and it will cure things, and this is a very, very powerful healing potion.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Yeah,
And
we
you
will.
toss it down, and
Oh, we're like way far now.
yeah, your feet have a 5-foot gap in between them right now.
Oh, okay.
And you, who's gonna grab those? You're gonna grab them, Tico?
I'll grab 'em, yeah.
But
We'll put them in the bag later. I don't
I'm
want to
hoping
go.
no
We
one
gotta
objects to giving that 400 gold worth of...
Yeah, we
Yes.
got. So you guys still have the skull. You guys got
Yeah.
the. Yeah, we have the spine in here. No one put it in there, but we just sort of have it. We don't know what to do with it.
We can't let
seems
this
like
get together.
They want to, but yeah,
Yeah.
Can you kill it?
I don't.
It's a spine. It's the title of the
Kill it more!
We
Salt
just
it and
stomp
burn
on it. Yeah.
We could give it a shot, you know.
We try. Yeah,
do
we'll
our
try.
best.
Salt it and burn it.
Okay.
You're just like shouting down who's first age whispering.
What? What? Did you say
Bury it in
something?
salt and set it on fire.
Oh, okay. Like
Is
for a
that salt?
tasty bone snack.
No, that's how you cleanse demons.
Oh,
Are you stupid?
yeah, kind of.
Established they're all
Yeah.
dumb.
We're back down to level 3 intelligence.
the dumb bitch squad.
Yeah, like our intelligence scores already higher, right?
Yeah.
I have a +1.
Like, yeah.
I have a 0.
Yeah. We've been breathing a lot of deadly fumes in
Fair
this
enough.
You
world.
look very pale.
Yeah, it's
So I'm assuming this is some kind of dream spell. When they wake up, they're gonna have 9 extra hit points.
Oh, nice.
ooh.
Oh, that's splendid.
Oh,
Thank
nice
you.
hit points.
Yeah.
Um
Quick, mark it down in your character sheets.
yeah. Are you guys okay?
We're fine.
Okay.
We're fine.
Stay that way.
We'll try to stay warm in the steppes. We're going to Arvex, where the Dragonborn live.
Oh right, of course.
Saranon looks at you and says, "You're going to Arvex? We
Yes.
are... I saw a city in the mountains that looked like it was in the same place as Arvex. The mountains looked just like the ones that Zephyr and I had seen when we were traveling together.
If we go there at the
We
same
weren't?
time, do you think we could
Maybe we could...
meet?
I do not know.
Is that
It's
how
not
that
much of a
works?
lead, but it's something.
Okay, is that our game plan?
Yes.
Meet in.
We
Go to the
are
mountains.
we are in a village in our world called Ash Hill that is somewhere east of those mountains.
It has 3 big trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 big ash trees, but they're dead as
You're
hell.
east of... What are those mountains
I
called
don't-
again?
I don't know how any of this works.
Lady Carnelian's place. What's it called?
Wait, so is the world...
Ruby Irene.
Ruby Irie.
Yeah, that's the same place as where Black Vault is.
No, it's Arvix and Ruby Irie were like
Oh, okay.
looked like they were in the same spot.
Cool.
Oh no.
I do not know how any of this works, but I know that none of the names I have heard except the names of the gods are the same.
But the places look the same.
Similar.
Sort of.
The mountains are all in the same place.
Hollow Mountain is there, except it's a volcano now. We woke up there. We woke up on top of it, surrounded by glass.
Yeah, black glass.
You were glass
Top
statues in our
faces.
world.
Oh, sick! Do we
What
have
is-
like cool poses?
You... No, but you do have a kind of an honor guard protecting him.
You guys, your feet are now like a solid 12 inches away from the blue vortex beneath you, and your heads are about the same amount from the golden orb.
Okay, game plan. Meet in Arvix, right?
Well,
Yeah.
We'll find a way to talk to you there.
Yeah.
Take care of yourselves.
You too.
Be safe.
We'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Zephyr,
Take names, kick ass.
I'll speak with you again. And you are pulled apart. All right, good huddle, guys. All right.
Thanks, Jenna, for a good game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I hope Jenna's not mad about me talking for a character.
I think you were in
did a pretty
character
good
pretty
job.
well.
Yeah,
And
okay.
you had the,
Yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah.
cadence of Sarah's voice pretty good.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Said Nerugal.
Yeah, exactly. That was the one thing I knew I had to hit.
The goose.
All right.
The goose is cooked.
So, we're back.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I feel like I have so much room now. The three of you are all pulled inexorably into the golden sphere of flame above you, and your vision goes gold. And as you say your goodbyes to your friends, you awaken once more in the starry room of Premonition, the speaker in dreams. And as you look around, the room seems a little bit less mystical than it was before. Before, it's like you walked into the astral plane itself. Now it just looks like a simple room with black painted walls and a few little dots of white paint every now and then representing the starry sky with a nice mosaic tile floor. And Premonition is just sitting there, cross-legged, eyes closed, and as you awaken, also cross-legged, her eyes flutter open, and she says, with ragged breath, breathing heavily, "Then you saw it."
We saw them. Thank you.
You are most welcome. Know that this is not something that I feel I am capable of doing again, not for quite some time. To call spirits, to create a dream of seeing across such a distance.
I can't imagine the magic involved.
You've done us a favor we could never repay.
You can repay me in one way. You can repay me by finishing what you started. I do not know the specifics of your quest. I do not know what necessarily your mission, your journey will entail, but the way you can repay me is to see it through to the end. And she smiles, the first emotion that she has displayed this entire time. And she stands very slowly. She looks not old, but not young either, but she stands as if the weight of centuries rests upon her shoulders. And she looks at you with her deep, dark eyes. And she says, "I sense that you are heading to the unforgiving north next. You will need many things, but proper clothing is one of them. Chieftain of the desert, you will have to bundle yourself in furs such that you would sustain twice the chill of the desert night. And the wind and the frost will tear at you all in ways that no living being should be forced to endure."
Mara's gonna have to cover those sweet guns.
Her gaze lingers on Zephyr for some time, and she says, "I am sorry for what happened to you. There are questions I can answer for you when you are willing to ask them. See me again." And she bows and turns away from you. "And you, I hear that something terrible happened between you and your father just earlier today. Moments ago, in fact."
If you can call them that.
"I do not know what your relationship with him will bring, but I regret to tell you that this is not the last time you will see that being. His presence will haunt you like your own shadow until this task is completed. I hope that you will come to terms with the nature of that shadow. Now please, go. I must recover."
Thank you.
She bows again, and she sits back down, clasps her hands, and closes her eyes. And you open the door out into the hallway, and it feels a little. I hate to tell you how your characters feel, but there is a sort of almost disappointment exiting the room in such a mundane fashion after you walked into the heavens themselves to enter it. It feels just a little bit less real, almost. It feels less real and too real all at the same time. And you're just here in the hallway now. Reclamation is standing. You can see her her eyes are closed, her forehead is furrowed. She's focusing on keeping that magical leg under her. And as you close the door, her eyes pop open, looks at you with those blank white eyes, and she says, "You saw what you needed to see?"
Yes. Mara offers her an arm.
She takes it and says, "From one warrior to another." And she takes your arm, and you walk back together to her room. And she sits back down on her wheelchair, and she breathes out this long sigh of relief, and her magical leg of energy vanishes, and she relaxes back into the wooden cushion chair.
So, you think spells can beat blades?
What sort of question is that? Uh-oh, I'm talking in Premonition's voice. What sort of question is that?
From one warrior to another.
Young woman, she laughs. You can see the laugh lines around her eyes crinkle sharply as she says this. "When I was your age, I was known as the great sorcerer knight Reclamation, and I fought creatures just as great as you. Let the years pass. See how strong you are when my age you reach. But yes, I think in my current state my spells could beat your blade. I simply wish I could ride a horse as well as I was. If I could join you on your quest, if I could ride out up the cliffs of Arvix and fight monsters and save friends from other worlds, I would do so. I would do so in a heartbeat. But my place now is in this city. My place now is not fighting you.
This city is a haven.
I'm glad you see it that way.
I've never seen so many tieflings before.
There will come a time when I believe every city will have just as many of us with just as much joy in their hearts. And I believe the same can be said for your elven kin. I have seen the arc of history pass upon my people, and I believe it will pass upon yours as well, Zephyr. The elves in this city certainly are home. So, you are traveling north. I imagine Premonition already told you many things. The last friendly house upon the way to the Nortok Steppe is that of Arvix. There is... Well, word has it you're already familiar with Rakar Silverscale. He is the oracle of the god Lotan Ratu. He is also, as you already know, the commander of the Order of the Dragon God, and as such he holds great power within the city. One of the consuls of Arvix is his right hand. If you travel there, I hope that you will see him. He has been a good friend to me for many long years. We fought together when I carved out this piece of the world for my people.
He was a good ally and seemed a fine general.
I should hope that age has not tarnished his scales. In any case, the years have made me quite wise. If there's anything you need, do not hesitate to ask. And in fact, she reaches into a pocket and she pulls out a furled piece of parchment, a tiny scroll, not the long thing you would recognize,
scroll.
but a little scroll. And she passes it to you. It's just a little tube of paper. She holds out her hand, actually. She expects someone to take it. She passes it to you as you take it. She says, "That is a blank piece of paper. Write whatever it is you want on it and fold it into the shape of a bird and it will find me. From wherever in the world you are, unless it is torn apart by ice or snowy winds, it will return to me and impart that information."
Wonderful.
Do you know how to fold paper into the shape of a bird?
Of course I do.
What do you mean, of course?
What are they teaching in school these days?
Astrid didn't go to school.
Yeah. So, I know that you are busy. I know that you have much to prepare for.
Well, despite all the weird shit that's happened, I like this city.
I guess we need to get some new duds. Where's the finest tailor in town?
Warm weather clothing.
You will be looking for Featherdown, owned by a tiefling of the same name. It is, and she gives you directions. There's quite a bit, quite a grand selection there. If you're looking for simply warm clothing, padded, stuffed with Featherdown, then
How do feathers keep you warm?
I'm not rightly sure. She pauses and thinks about it. He looks at you and shrugs. She says, if you're looking for true fine craftsmanship of cold weather clothing, Arvik's might be your best bet. If magical enchantments that would keep the cold away are what you're looking for, then this city has what you need. She looks out a window in her room and looks upon the grand sunny savannah, and she laughs a little bit and says, we have no need for cold weather clothing here. Is there anything else you may need?
Thank you.
Yes, walk always in the sun. And she nods. And you head out of the palace. You exit the room and the guards are still standing there and they escort you out of the palace. And you find yourself at the top of the steps of the palace. There are 2 stone lions standing regally beside you, and the guard with the flamberge sword and the fiery horns looks to you once more and says, again, I can't thank you enough. Go with peace. And he turns around and all 4 guards head back into the palace.
I think walk always in the sun was meant to be a benediction of sorts, but that would be rather weird to say in the desert.
All right. Is there anything? Are you going to go to the clothing shop here? Is magical cold weather gear what you're looking for, or any kind of magical clothing actually?
I mean, I'm all about magical clothing.
Astrid wants to do more shopping. We should go look. We should go look and see what there is. Though, again, we can finish outfitting ourselves in Arvik's.
That might be our best bet.
Okay. I'll hasten this along a bit. You pass through the streets of the city. Basil Theodore actually hails you as you pass by. He says, talk to me before you go to bed tonight. I want to talk about a few things. And you go on your way.
We'll meet you in the inn.
Sounds good. And he goes right back. He's doing a booming business. And you head to the shop called Featherdown, and you meet its owner of the same name. And he is a tiefling with no horns, but he is covered in feathers. Not like a bird is covered in feathers from tip to tail, but he has he looks like a griffin tiefling, basically. He has the lower half of sort of a leonine form. He has a tail with a little tuft on it, and while he has the sort of the humanoid head of a tiefling, his whitish.
What makes him a tiefling?
Well, he has the same monocolored eyes as tieflings do. He has the digitigrade legs of a tiefling. Do all tieflings have that? I don't recall. But his skin is a reddish color that has little patches of black feathers sort of all positioned around them. Astrid, just looking at him, you get the sense that he's a tiefling. You can't really describe him in any other way. You just doesn't look like any sort of Goetian tiefling you've ever seen before.
Right.
Yeah. He welcomes you, gives a little nod of the head, and he shows you around. And there are all sorts of fine clothes around here. Many of them are, how shall I describe them? Many of them are very fancy, opulent. A lot of them show like a lot of skin, like really deep necklines, that sort of thing. And some of them, though, one is a suit of armor that he says can be magically shaped into an illusion of any garment that you can think of. One is and there are other suits of armor here too. There is a suit of hide armor and a suit of chainmail and a suit of half plate as well, all of which have a colorless gem inset right at the, I don't know, not at the throat, but right below.
The sternum.
Yeah, and he says that gem can be enchanted in any way you wish to provide you resistance to a certain element. He says fire is a pretty typical one around here. There are all sorts of fiery creatures, or lightning if you want to go into the Thunder Marsh south of town. But he says, but anything you wish, cold, radiance, necrotic energy, anything, as long as you're willing to pay for the enchantment. And I think he could go on, but if anything there catches your eye.
We're looking for some cold weather clothing. We're traveling to Arvex and beyond.
Indeed. Well, I can always enchant armor to resist the cold. It's not cheap. Again, if you're planning to go up into the mountains and fight, then perhaps enchanted armor is your best bet. But if you're just going for a little vacation in Arvex, then perhaps buying a scarf and a heavy down coat might be your best bet.
Well, unfortunately, this is more of a business trip.
I wish we could expense it.
He says,
into Omaville and be like, Asheville.
Here's our receipt.
He also says, in addition to all of this, I have a cloak that might be useful to you, a cloak of protection. It's a magical item, so it's not cheap, 500 gold-ish, but it's an uncommon item that, if attuned, will provide a +1 bonus to AC in all saving throws while worn. So strictly worse than what you're wearing, but, you know.
Can I look at the cloak?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a beautiful sky blue cloak with gold trimming around the hood and around the edges. And
I'm super
it's
into this.
yeah, it's rather thin. It's a silk cloak, but it has a magical sheen that seems to suggest that, you know, being caught by pricker bushes or anything like that they'll just snap against its silk. It won't catch or be tattered by mundane wear and tear. But yeah, it's not going to keep you warm.
Right.
But it might provide you a bonus to con saves.
Is there like a light armor chest piece that's enchanted or
like
enchantable?
like just leather armor?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a suit of leather, and it can be studded if you wish, and it can be enchanted with a cold enchantment. Yeah.
How much would that run?
Let me take a look. It is armor of resistance.
Mara thinks the cloak is really pretty.
It is really pretty, and it's like a +1 to AC is never bad.
But it won't keep me warm.
It will keep you safer.
Which percentiles is going to be in? Oh, wow. That's lucky. This leather armor of cold resistance is going to run you 600 gold.
Are you able to enchant existing armor or only custom-made items?
It is harder to do so, but I could give it a shot. What are you looking for?
Well, I know in the desert we don't wear metal armor because of the extreme conditions.
Sure.
And Zephyr, you have quite a lot of metal. I worry that could be dangerous in the snow of Arvex.
Well, your friend doesn't seem too interested right now, but if he wishes to go to Arvex, I'm sure there are other enchanters there who could do the same.
We hear
Not
you're
as
the
good
best,
as mine,
though.
of course, please. But they live in the cold. They need to know how to repel it.
I am awfully tempted by this cloak, but as I mentioned, we're headed to Arvex in the cold, and I don't know if it's entirely practical.
Are you trying to haggle him?
Yes.
Make a persuasion check.
I'm also going to do the same. And that armor, how much did you say it was for a savior of Auredane? 18.
18, yeah. And
19.
You? 19, okay. And he looks at you and nods and says, well, you know, I think for a piece like this, and then you say your bit, and he just sort of freezes for a moment. You three Lightbringers?
Yes.
You're... And he runs behind his desk for a moment, and he brings out a piece of parchment and an ink pen, and he says...
Oh no.
And he says,
Oh,
listen,
no.
no. Please. I would be honored if the three of you would publicly endorse my place of business. If you look at these beautiful, beautiful garments around here, surely they all catch your eye. You think they are gorgeous, do you not? If you would be willing to tell the people of Reclamation's Pride how much you think my clothes are exceptional, I would be happy to give you 25% off.
Is Mara familiar with the concept of endorsing someone's business in this way?
I think you can wrap your head around it pretty quick.
Right.
I think you understand the notion of like respect enough to get that.
I guess.
Look, basically he's saying, like, he'll scratch our back, we'll scratch his, he'll give us a lower price, and we'll tell people that his stuff is good so he can make more money. And it looks like good stuff.
It looks like really good stuff, generally, right?
It's not at all what Mara would wear, probably.
No, most of it is not, like the normal. So is he saying we have to wear, like, the regular clothing, or just that we buy the stuff we want to buy?
Oh, you don't have to,
okay.
yeah, you don't even have to look at at them, just as long as you say it's good.
But if I didn't know if it was good, then why would I say it was good?
Because you want a discount.
It looks lovely.
Oh, thank you. Would you do that in writing? So Astrid endorses him.
Yes. Astrid's Vanguard definitely endorsed a couple of small businesses in Half Moon City. And so she signs it off. And
Very good. What about Mara?
just do it. They're nice clothes. They're good clothes, Bron.
This just doesn't quite feel right.
He's not trying to trick us.
Mara grabs the paper and scribbles something unintelligible.
Make
So
a
you said
persuasion
30%
check.
off?
Certainly.
Right, I just want to get out of here. So I'm gonna give him the money. That is
$750 in total, yeah.
in total, yeah, so far.
For both of you together.
Okay.
And you, I suppose you are not buying anything, my fine elf. I suppose it would be unfair of me to ask you for something if I could not give you anything in return.
Perhaps if he had something complimentary.
Perhaps a letter of recommendation to any of my colleagues in the City of Dragons.
I'm sure that'd be wonderful.
Yes. Would you be willing to endorse my product, my fine friend?
Zephyr will endorse it.
Very good. Then he. There you are. Present this to any fine clothier in the city of Arvex, or indeed any of the city-states of the Republic, and I am sure they'll recognize your worth with my recommendation. Pleasure doing business with you.
Many thanks.
Indeed. And you head out into Reclamation's Pride. The day is growing long, and as you...
Can't anybody haggle properly and honorably around here?
and as you begin to retire to the inn, you settle down for...
ink today.
So as you begin to settle down at the inn, you go to the stable, which Ink has claimed completely for himself. All the horses they're like in a corner, like looking at him. And Ink is just like sprawled out like a cat. And he looks up as you come and goes, brr, and he
activation noise.
boom, pads towards you, and he just sort of butts his head into your chest.
Hi. And I did switch out my invocations.
The beast speech one.
Now I can talk to my cat. So she just says, "Hi, have you been good?"
And his ears perk up and his eyes open wide, and he goes, "Oh, you can speak to me."
Yeah.
Well, this is one of the greatest days I can imagine. I mean, He just starts licking himself instead. He looks embarrassed.
You didn't eat any horses, did you?
He looks at them, and they kind of retract into the corner of the stable. And he says, no, they're all tied up. They wouldn't be good hunting. No.
How big are his teeth?
I mean, they're like blades. They're like swords.
Easily as long as my hand.
Yeah, I mean, what, a normal cat's tooth is like this.
And he's about 10 times that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a fine dagger with these teeth. And he says, please go hunting with me while we're out on the fields next time. I'd love to snag a nice gazelle.
I'm sure gazelle is delicious this time of year. Yeah, we'll get you some good eating soon, I promise.
It's getting late. I haven't been able to run around all day. Would you mind letting me out so I can run around? I promise I'll come back.
Okay, just don't hurt anything.
No people. No animals that people own.
Okay.
Okay. And he walks out of the stable and looks at you, and he bumps his head into your chest again, and then and runs down, down the cobblestones. People just like swerve to get out of the way. They go up against the wall.
It's okay, he's friendly. He just jumps over one cart.
Yeah. Does he have... he doesn't have like a saddle, but does he have anything like on his back to show that he's not just like a wild monster?
Giant cat. Not yet.
Okay.
So if you get him a collar.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd like that.
Like, I mean, I could get like a...
Tie like a flag around his neck or something.
I was just thinking about getting like some rope and building like a makeshift harness so I can hang on, and like maybe putting a little pendant with his name on it.
Yeah. When you put it on, he's going to do that thing where the cat's trying to back up out of it.
Yeah. And he's just going to like...
Yeah.
Squat.
Maybe if you can get it enchanted.
Very good.
Astrid, you
it's a
should
nice
probably
rope.
arrange a meal for your friend.
I think he's doing that right now.
You can see off in the distance,
He's like
like tiny little
over the
speck.
walls of the city.
Yeah, tiny little speck out in the
All
savannah.
right.
He's like got a zebra in his mouth.
You would certainly attract a lot of big cats.
Yeah. They seem to like me, which is fine because I love cats.
You head into the inn, and you meet Basil there as you all settle down for, I guess it really should be lunch. I can't say the day has gone by that quick.
I mean, it's probably a really late lunch.
Yeah, I mean, it's summer, so the day is long, but
Mara's stomach was rumbling.
yeah, you settle down for food, and as you sit down and begin to eat, Basil slides in. He's got a chair of his own. He slips in. He sits down right next to you, and he places that enchanted dagger that you saw, the one that causes morning glories to sprout from any wound it cuts. He places it down, sheathed, on the table, and he says, I need to talk to you about something. I've got bad news. And that's where we're going to end for today.
But we're not playing next week, and it'll be the Dark World the week after that.
Sorry. That's just the way
And then
things
it's your
go.
birthday, and we won't be able to play after that either.
Oh, I guess we'll just have to wait another, month.
Well, we'll be like next year.
Wow, this is like a summer cliffhanger when a show ends in June and doesn't start again until October.
Can I use my inspiration?
This is like when Picard got turned into a Borg. And okay, hey, thanks for sticking with us for a great episode. We'll see you next time. Bye now.